This podcast is brought to you by our Anime Addicts community. If you want to support the podcast, go to aaapodcast.com/join or patreon.com. You'll get all of our exclusive extra content, and you'll be helping out the podcast, and you'll be a great anime addict as well. And with that, it's time to start the Oscars. It's time for the 2023 Anime Oscars, where your anime addicts will discuss the best, the brightest, and the worst from 2023. I am your host, Mitsugi, and I am joined by Mason, who is looking very fine in his black tuxedo. It's a new style of tuxedo.
It's a minimalist tuxedo.
Yes,
in fact,
indeed.
It's removed all the frills and pomp and circumstance, and you might think it's just a simple black t-shirt. No, it's the finest cutting edge of fashion.
We also have Caroline.
With it.
Caroline is clearly the best anime addict amongst us. She's wearing a fine Chanel sequin gown, looking absolutely stunning. Please, the cameras, they can't handle the beauty. Caroline, how are you tonight?
I'm doing good. Cannot believe that after many years of doing the Oscars, always dressing up, you guys just dropped the ball. Come on,
fashion.
guys.
This is fashion. This is what peak performance looks like.
We got
Caroline.
a black t-shirt and a sailor hat and a hoodie from Mitz.
Well, listen, I'm going to play the sick card. I've been sick since 4 or 5 days ago or so. But you know what? It's also just mass laziness. I mean, it's true. I can't hide it. And why bother? But I am wearing the captain's hat today. I am captaining the ship, and I'm proud to be here. I should also say I do apologize for any coughing that happens during this podcast. And also, I will be in Japan starting Friday the 15th and will be out until the 27th. So there will be a significant delay in podcast releases. The podcast that would normally release on the 21st will not release, and it will most likely you'll get a double episode on the 28th. Have no fear, the podcast is not ended or anything. Simply that I am off, parading my wife around on a magic carpet ride through Japan. So, but back to the Oscars, 2023. What a fantastic year, and I do mean it now for the first time ever. I mean it. What a fantastic year. I'm just kidding. You guys, what are your general thoughts? Do you have any favorites? Do you have any hopefuls? Any dark horses for the Oscars that we're about to announce very shortly?
Caroline, the one with the actual dress. Actually, is this the sequins where you can like flip them up and it like holds so you can make different patterns in them?
No. I don't have any of
those
that.
are the best
Chanel would
ever.
never stoop so low.
To being enjoyable. What do you think, Caroline?
I don't know. I feel like this year is kind of the year of 3 really hard-hitting, important anime, and the rest are kind of just filling in the blanks, it feels like. Not to say this last year was bad. It just feels like it was pretty standard apart from a few shows. You know, that being Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2, Vinland Saga Season 2, and I think maybe Heavenly Delusion or like Oshinoko. Yeah, that's the kind of feeling I get for this year. It wasn't my favorite, but I am interested to see what these results will be, especially coming off the heels of the Jujutsu Kaisen Awards, aka the Crunchyroll Awards.
How many awards tonight do you think that Jujutsu Kaisen will actually win? Knowing that I will just tell you that there are 15 awards to be given out tonight. How many?
Well, how many is Jujutsu Kaisen nominated for?
Well,
how many of those?
Well, I'll answer that in just a moment, but I don't know off the top of my head.
I'm gonna count.
While you guys look it up, I want to give you some stats that I was quickly looking at while Mitch was doing his intro.
What a stud!
Because we love numbers. That's the only way to objectively quantify a year is with numbers. So I went to our review database, which tracks all the shows we review and score on this podcast. And I went through And obviously there are some biasing. There are some 2023 shows we didn't watch, some we have not yet reviewed, and there's some shows that I reviewed, but maybe Mitsugi didn't, or that Caroline did and I didn't, sort of thing. So, that said, I looked at what our mean score was across all the shows of 2023 and what our mean score is from all time. So, what's our normal mean score and what was our mean score for 2023 to see, for us personally, did we rate things higher or lower than we normally do?
Are you crunching numbers, Mason?
I'm doing some math.
This is
here.
unbelievable. AAApodcast.com/join is the tip jar for Mason. The man is working for
finer
you.
Suit next year.
Listen, he's an engineer, but he's doing extra math on the side for you. Oh my goodness!
What we do here. So Mitsuki, your mean score normally is a 3.1.
That's not bad. That's pretty good,
For
actually.
2023, your mean score was a 2.8. So a dip below average. Not saying there wasn't some good shows. You thought it was a bit on the low end. And of course, I've not reviewed this for other years, but here we're going.
I had a grumpy
Caroline,
year.
your mean score is a 3.0.
Oh, see,
Okay.
so, aha.
So a little bit more persnickety than Mitz.
That's surprising.
So
You're
we're
the
wow.
king of persnicken.
That's a good word.
But your average for 2023, Caroline, was a 3.1. So it actually went up
Interesting.
Oh, wow.
above average year for Caroline.
Sounds like we are all fairly normal.
Miss Good Mood. Miss Good Mood.
Intriguing.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't need to know my numbers. But
Yes,
all
we.
you need
Oh,
to
we
know-
do.
Okay, my average is a 2.6.
Ooh.
The average for last year was 2.7.
Oh.
Wow.
But I think at the end of the day, as with, we do with nostalgia, when we look back on a year, we don't think of every single show that we thought of. We don't, think about the magical revolution of the reincarnated princess or the handyman Saito or magical destroyers. The shows that kind of get lost in the middle. To me, it's always about the best shows and the worst shows that kind of regain your memory. And for me, as Caroline alluded to, having my first 5 out of 5 on this podcast in Heavenly Delusion makes this a good year for anime. And there was certainly some standouts as well. We'll get to them, but anytime there's a show that really cracks into that thing that I just enjoy, whether it's original and clever and unique and just so singular and one of a kind, I adore. And so because of that show alone, I thought 2023 was pretty darn good. So
Well,
I'm coming in optimistically to these reviews. Do I think it will do well? I'm not expecting it, but we will we will see.
The only thing I heard from that whole speech was that I am actually the kindest amongst us on average over the
Yes.
span of many years. So thank you.
Except this last year.
all the haters who like to talk shit in the reviews and make me feel sad. Yes, that's right. That's right. Also, Jujutsu Kaisen, 7 nominations, Caroline.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I saw that.
how many will it win?
I think it's definitely going to win its fair share. I'm going to say probably 3, maybe 4,
Okay.
just based on how popular it was. Yeah. And how many it's been awarded or been nominated for.
Now I'll ask a follow-up to your question. Are there any Dark Horse anime that were nominated that you hope win that you wouldn't necessarily expect? I'll give you an example. I nominated Buddy Daddies a few times because I thought that anime was extremely cute and enjoyed it a lot and was very surprised by that show. I don't know that it'll win anything because there's just some juggernauts that came out this year. Personally, I think there's about 5 anime last year that most people remember, and I don't think Buddy Daddies is one of them. How about you? Do you have a personal Buddy Daddies? Do you have a buddy?
Like I have a couple of underdogs that I'm rooting for in a couple of these categories. Usually the nominations that I gave out that I know that nobody else was going to care about, but I wanted to make sure was mentioned at least. Like for example, for Best ED, I put in Migi and Dally, even though I know it has absolutely no shot. But still, I'm still rooting for it. Of course I am.
If it was called Miggy and Daddy, then maybe you're talking.
No, I don't think so. I don't. Even then, I don't know if it would pull the votes.
Mason, how about you? Do you have a Dark Horse? Do you have a buddy?
I think because this is you're my daddy, based on that
Ooh.
dance you just performed
Yeah.
live on Twitch
Listen,
at
it
5
got
p.m. Eastern time.
I'll rub my boobies. Listen, it got hot. It's fucking hot here. Listen, Caroline, you both have been in my house now, and we have the second floor is like an oven in this place. So anyway,
I slept on the couch right behind you,
it's
and
an oven.
and while cuddling with your dog, I was like, Kibi, I
Yeah,
love you so much, but can you like take a
Yeah,
step back a little
she's
bit?
a traitor. She's a traitor. Anyway, back to the buddies. Mason.
It's tricky because this is all fan vote. This is popularity contest 101. So dark horses have such a low chance. I would love to see Skip and Loafer do
Ooh.
well. I think that was one of my highest rated shows. While it was so not an action shonen dramatic sort of thing, it was light and fluffy and sweet and heartwarming and just so tonally different than everything else. I'd like to see it get some props. So that's my wish for tonight.
All right. How many awards do you think that Jujutsu Kaisen will win? Because I think it's 7. I think it's going to take all of them.
Oh, anything it got nominated in.
I don't believe it. I don't think so.
Will it become the first ever anime to win both the best of 2023 and the worst of 2023?
Well, it's not in the worst category.
Oh, it is.
We should have nominated it just to
No,
see
it's
if
not.
someone was blindly like jujutsu all the way down.
based on the response that I received for giving that a 3.5 out of 5, you would think it was on the list, but it's okay. It's okay. All right. Anything else you guys want to say about the last year before we launch into it? Because I know we'll be talking about the results as we announce them.
I'm ready to launch.
Just overall, thank you everyone who submitted and voted and just participated in this. It's always fun. It's always just a chance to recollect, and we appreciate it. Wouldn't be as fun without you guys. So thank you, all of you.
And there is one more thing, because there are so many shows that deserve to be nominated that just did not end up on the list. Like, we could have had 12 nominations, and even then probably it still wouldn't be enough. So just wanted to point that out in case people are like, why the heck is this show not in this category? It was so popular. Fair, definitely fair. And it was a struggle to even get it narrowed down to 6 that we kind of narrowed it down to on these lists. Even then, I'm kind of feeling like I still don't feel like it's balanced. Like, there's definitely some more stuff that deserves to be talked about here, but just go back and listen to our reviews if you want to highlight something that you don't see on this list.
Like
I
said,
know it's
no award show is perfect.
No.
We're having fun here, and I
It
just
is
want to be all positive at the
popularity
beginning
based, by the way.
until some show wins. And I'm like, oh, you guys are dumb. This should have been this one. You guys are failures.
Yeah.
Q movie award, but we'll get to that.
Yeah,
Ooh.
and even
You
with
ready
the
to kick this
abstain
off?
button, it is still going to be popularity based, no matter what. That's just how it is.
I would like to
okay.
read the runner-up and the winner and then the runner-up, and I will be displaying the results on Twitch, although these pie charts do look like shit.
Are we reading out the nominees?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
I will set an example. I'm going first here.
Sit
All
down.
right. Well, they're dimming the lights in the lobby. That means it's time to get your asses in your seats. Jack Nicholson is acting like he's at a Lakers game, wearing his sunglasses inside. No, you're not John Belushi. Doing your best. References that nobody gets. That's right. All right, guys. Well, we do this in a particular order. We do sort of the aesthetic awards first, which includes animation, music, etc. Then we do the character awards. So we do have your best boy and your best girl, as they say. Then a large swath of genre awards, followed by the best and the worst of the year for both anime and studio. So, and these are shows that ended in 2023, and only TV shows are on this list except for the film category, which we do have a film category. So, for those of you that wonder where the OVAs are, where why Slam Dunk or something's not in the action category, why such and such show isn't in here, even though it started in 2023, it's because it needs to have concluded in 2023. So, those are the rules, just for confusion's sake. The first category tonight that we're going to announce is Best Animation. Of course, animation just gets better and better for some shows, and, we can't say the same thing for all of them, but that's why we have the best of the year. And The nominees for Best Animation are Bleach, 1,000 Years, Blood War Part 2. A lot of Part 2s this year. Heavenly Delusion, Hell's Paradise, Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2. There's your first, JJK. Onimai, I Am Now Your Sister, for a very unique art style. And Vinland Saga Season 2. And the winner is... Oh, I just knew it. Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2. Oh. With 41.4% of the vote, a landslide, followed up by Heavenly Delusion with 18.8%. So a very distant second, doubling up the second place. And I will say, I do believe I voted for Jujutsu Kaisen because that entire season was basically just one giant studio Mappa money shot. What were your guys' thoughts?
I thought it was fair. I mean, people might say, oh, it's just because it's popular, but literally thinking back to the shows that I've seen on this list, now I have not seen Onimai and I haven't seen Bleach, but based on the rest of the things in this category, Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2 was the only one that really stood out to me.
I am glad Heavenly Delusion did so well. I would say from a technical standpoint, Onimai was definitely the most impressive in its animation cuts. The things they did visually were far and beyond way anything that it needed to do, and it was really endearing. So I'm not surprised it did so poorly. That said, the bombastic nature of Jujutsu Kaisen and the fluxes it had, despite all the woes that we heard about from Studio Mappa, just continued to impress. And yeah, this is a very good win. And like we said, this is not just the technical side of the animation, but the style and the quality, and having just some really impactful fights behind those punches, which were drawn so well, made it a stand out. So not surprised, and it's fair.
All right, and for anybody who cares, Bleach was third place with 10%. So, with that out of the way, let's keep going in order here. Caroline, what's next?
All right. Next category is Best OP. Now, some people don't really pay attention to OPs in anime, but I personally love them. I think they're so fun and just give the opportunity to add more artisticness to a show, even outside of its plot, its characters, etc. So, our nominees for Best OP are Heavenly Delusion with Innocent Arrogance by Bish, Hell's Paradise with Work by Millennium Parade and Sheena Ringo, Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2, Ao no Sumika by Tatsuya Kitani. We had Oshinoko Idol by Yuasobi. Urusei Yatsura, I don't know how to pronounce that. By Minami and it got cut off.
Ayue.
No, the artist Minami, and it starts with an S, but it got cut off.
Can't see that.
And last but not least, Vinland Saga Season 2 with River by, again, cut off. I can't really see. So, the winner of Best OP for 2023 is Oshinoko with 42% of the vote. And that, I believe, is the biggest win of the night, has the biggest gap between first and second place. Second place being Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2, surprisingly, with only 17% of the vote. I thought it was going to be a lot higher. That OP certainly made a splash, but I guess nothing compared to Oshinoko. And in third place is Hell's Paradise with 11%.
I gotta say, my favorite OP didn't even make the list. My favorite OP of the year was Dangers in My Heart. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that was a good OP. Why didn't you nominate it, Mitch?
I can look up who I did nominate. I'm sure that is a factor. So, I believe I nominated JJK, actually.
Yeah, and there were some other really great OPs that didn't make this list either, like Skippin' Loafer. That one was pretty fun, but honestly, Oshinoko's OP was definitely one of the most popular anime songs last year. And I think even people outside of anime got to hear that song too. So what more can you ask for? Mason, do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I was definitely not a big fan of the Oshinoko OP at first. It felt too all over the place and messy, but it really did such a good job of capturing the catchiness and darkness of that show in a 90-second standpoint with great visuals, great sonic design. It was just so well put together. I actually like a ton of the OPs on this list. I thought this was a very strong year for openings.
Hmm.
So if any of these won, I would have been like, yeah, that was a banger and good. I'm happy, fine with these results.
Yeah, me too.
This award show is already better than the Crunchyroll Awards because Jujutsu Kaisen has now failed to win one single award. Yes, congratulations, voters. You are based. All your base are belong to us. That's right. What's next?
Next up is the counterpoint to best opening, which is best ending. Obviously, not as much beloved or looked forward to, but still an important statement of a show's thing. And I think EDs offer a different palette from an OP. It's not as much about hype, 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 gotta get you excited. It can play around with a lot of different avenues. So, your nominees for best ED are Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2, the first ED, Migi and Dali, Mobile Suit Gundam The Witch from Mercury Season 2, One Hit Kill Sister, Onimai, I'm Now Your Sister, a lot of sisters, and Oshino Ko. And your winner for the best ED of 2023 is Oshino Ko,
Oh, I knew it.
with 22% of the vote, comfortably but not decimating the second follow-up, which, like the OP, was Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2 Ending 1. So a little symmetry between those two. And what do you guys think about this?
I think I
I
abstained.
kind of would have. I
Yeah.
kind of would have liked a little more variation here compared to best OP, but yeah, the only thing I noticed was that abstain, as Mitsuki said. 26.2% of people abstained from best ED, which is crazy.
Yeah, because I don't listen to them, so I just skip them always.
Meanwhile, 9.7% of people abstained from best OP. And it's such an easy thing to still be able to participate in because you just have to look up the OP. It's a minute, or the ED. It's a minute and a half. So still, it's pretty crazy.
Okay.
Yeah, these results are pretty, once again, fitting. As good as the OPs were, actually, a lot of the EDs this year I thought were kind of underwhelming. So I didn't have too much invested emotionally into these results. So I think we can move on.
Let's do these in the order we have them on the Twitch on the bottom. So we're going to jump down to characters. So we do always have a best boy and a best girl. Basically just means it's your equivalent of best actor, best actress, favorite male, female character, whatever, what have you. So best boy first. So your nominees for best male character, best boy of 2023, we've got some good ones. Akira Tendo from Zom 100, Eisuke Nakaido from Tsurune the Linking Shot, Gezicht from Pluto, Gojo Satoru from Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2. It's got to be Gojo, right? Oh, he was barely in that season. Ichigo Kurosaki from Bleach 1,000 Year Blood War Part 2, and Thorfinn from Vinland Saga Season 2. And your winner for Best Boy 2023 is Thorfinn, Vinland Saga Season 2.
Nice.
34% of the vote, followed up by Akira Tendo with 23%. So not quite as big of a blowout as the others.
I'm still surprised by Akira getting second place here, especially when you look at third place here.
Well, third place was Gojo Satoru, who's barely even in the season, so...
Well, yeah, barely in it, but still, that doesn't stop the Gojo fans.
Thorfinn,
If only,
34%.
if only Toto, our boy, my brother, was in it, he might have
Oh my
had a
gosh.
good run for it.
Yeah.
But that's okay. I think at the end of the day, Thorfinn was the crux and hinge of the entire season of Vinland Saga Season 2 that for him to not get this award would have been a travesty.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
his development, his growth, everything about that season was so in his head and in his hands that I'm struggling to think since like Mob Psycho 100, like when has a character been so much his story, especially in the shonen where it's multicast, a lot of people. It's kind of funny how Jujutsu Kaisen put all their characters in one season, and Villain was like, "How about we just focus on one?" so singularly. And yeah, love to see Villain Saga get this. So no complaints
Yeah.
here.
I think it's definitely part to that, huge shift it did in season 2 where it really focused on his emotional state and everybody wants to vote for the guy they feel the most for. And here it's Torfin.
All right.
I like these results. Pretty interesting.
If it had been a Best Actor award, like in the actual Oscars, Thorfinn probably also would have won it. But the role that he had for that season, there's so much like emotional turmoil, so much introspection, so much just overcoming just the toils and trauma. There was a lot to work with, honestly, compared to Zom 100, for example, where you're just kind of running around acting like a goof. So, if Vinland Saga ever gets made into a real movie, whoever plays Thorfinn is going to get nominated anyway because it's just how the role is built. My opinion, but okay, you want to move on?
All right.
Yes. So best girl.
Ooh,
once
yeah.
again, the counterpart. We all know what this is. No introduction needed.
Lovely ladies.
Your nominees are Ana Yamada from The Dangers in My Heart, Kana Arima from Oshi no Ko, Kyoko Hori from Horimiya The Missing Pieces, Mimi Hime from Heavenly Delusion, Your Forger from Spy Family Season 2, and Yuzuki Murashige from Skip and Loafer. And your winner for Best Girl of 2023 is Your Forger Spy Family Season 2.
I was pulling
All
for
right.
Yamada. I can't lie.
I know, me too. And where she landed on this list is actually kind of surprising if you want to read out the runners up.
So Your Forger had 31%, Kana from Oshi no Ko had 19%, and just behind her with 17% was Anna from Dangers in My Heart. So close 2 and 3, Your pulled away, and you guys are tripping. You guys are,
Oh, really?
yeah.
Tripping balls.
I don't know.
Who did you
Are
want?
you just saying that because Mimi Hime got last place?
No, I didn't even nominate her. I wouldn't have nominated her. I think this is the first instance of just extreme popularity. Just going with a really popular character that people think is kind of cute and in a good show. So they're like, oh, I like Your enough. Sure. And
It's definitely part of that. But
I think it misses the point.
This most recent season did have a major Your arc. So
But was it good? Was it more
was a
than
good
just
arc. Yeah. Oh, I thought it was enjoyable, and I'm glad we got a little bit more of her. And that's I don't agree with her being first place, mostly because the fact that Anna got third is incredible. I thought she would at least be a runner up, or by second place, but I really wanted Anna to win. I thought she was just emulates best girl.
I don't want to denounce Your as trash, though I will certainly imply it. I get that she's a fun character. She fits her role within the structure of what that show needs to be endearing and engaging and lighthearted, while still being kind of spy and dark and all that stuff. I just don't see her as representative of more than a symbol. Like, she doesn't feel like a character to me in the way that almost all of these other entries and nominations do. So I get it. I'm not going to argue against these results. I'm just stating my displeasure with it. What do you think, Mitz?
I was exceptionally underwhelmed by Your Forger in the season that I watched. I just didn't think she did much. She's fine. Like, I guess she's cute maybe, but she certainly didn't carry the show or anything. I mean, it was definitely a show about whatever the hell the little girl was named. I mean, it was really about her. And I think as I was told, that's how it's supposed to be. So, I don't know. I think I'd expect a character with a little more of a first billing to be winning this, in which case I would expect, like, Anne or somebody who's more of, like, the primary focus of the show to be able to get a little more respect. So, my opinion is it feels a little bit more like a vote for the anime and not really the character. I'm not sure. But I felt the same way during the Waifu War. So, I mean, there's a lot of girl characters that, like, can do backflips and like kick things. So I don't know. It just doesn't move the needle for me really. But that's me. Whatever. Who cares? I'm just an old man. So, you guys want to bounce up to best voice acting now? I think that's probably goes under the character category.
Yeah, I'd
All
say
right.
so.
Okay, best voice acting category. Here are the nominees. We got Inoki Junya, who plays Itadori Yuji in Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2. We got Hina Yomiya, who plays Ana Yamada in The Dangers of My Heart. Next is Megumi Han, who plays Kana Arima in Oshino Ko. Next is Rie Takahashi, who plays Tomo Aizawa in Tomo-chan is a Girl. Taku Yashiro, who plays Sugaru Shinuchi in Undead Girl Murder Farce. And Yoshitsugu Matsuoka, who plays Vash in Trigun Stampede.
Oh,
And
man.
the winner of Best Voice Acting is... Inoki Junya, who plays Itadori Yuji from Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2. 28% of the vote.
Is that Jujutsu Kaisen's second win?
I believe so.
Wow, now
It is.
tied with Oshinoko with 2. Wow, very powerful.
And I think that's fair because I actually voted for Yuji's voice actor. I thought it was great, just especially in the far more turmoil-filled scenes towards the end of Season 2. He did really well. The runners-up, Rie Takahashi for Tomo-chan is a Girl with 14% of the vote, and with 12% of the vote, Taku Yashiro, who plays Shinichi in Undead Girl Murder Farce.
I abstained. I don't know. I don't pretend to be able to grade someone's acting in a foreign language, so I just didn't even bother. So I always feel that way. So, but how did you guys feel?
Mason?
I'm okay with this. It's always tricky because I love Sugaru's performance. I think his blending of Rakugo and his style was great, but it's also hard to sometimes separate the voice actor from how good his line writing was. He had a great script to go off of, which made him feel realistic and snappy, and certainly the voice acting added to that appeal and delivery, and I'm not taking anything away, but I think he had a stronger script in a lot of ways than some other characters, which really endeared me to him, which I'm glad to see he did so well with, third place in the vote. I think the big thing with Itadori, which I don't appreciate in the moment, is he didn't blow me away, but when I think of how many shonen protagonists' voices are so grating and annoying and like irritating, for him not to be that is just a great boon to, I think, part of what makes the series so compelling. And on top of it, he, like you said, did a really good job for the tumultuous, emotional stuff he went through. So this is a tricky one for sure. It has a lot of, how do you separate the writing? How do you separate the character? How do you distill the voice? And that's not something we always have time to do and mentally focus on while watching a show. But these are good results. Pretty good job all the way around. So no lost sleep over this one.
Yeah, I totally agree that, it does help to have a really good script and a character that is going through a lot. But what that does, it just gives you the potential to show what you can do. And yeah, it's not totally fair when other voice actors, like, in maybe some slapstick comedies or not serious shows, they don't really have the ability to utilize that potential. But even so, when I compare the scenes of, the voice actor for Yuji going through the more, saddening scenes, and then you also compare it to the scene, not to spoil anything, when he's like walking through the winter landscape and he has such a completely different type of voice going on. It's range, sir. It's good. And I was really happy for this win.
Nice.
All right.
Ready for the next one?
The next
Are
category.
we going into genres?
We sure are. Are you excited?
Yes, very.
All right. Well, hang on to your pantaloons because it's best action. I'm actually wearing pantaloons today, and I'm very surprised.
I thought you said you were going pantsless.
Well, I got cold because I'm in and out of fever, so I'm cold, I'm hot. I'm cold, I'm hot. See, I put my shirt back on.
Mitz is no longer in heat, everybody.
Yeah, well,
Noted.
yep. Okay, so best action anime of 2023 has a lot of winners in here, a lot of sequels as well. Bleach, 1,000 Year Blood War Part 2. Bungo Stray Dogs, there it is, Season 5. Demon Slayer Swordsmith Village Arc. Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2. My Hero Academia Season 6. Holy shit. And Trigun Stampede. And the winner of Best Action Anime of 2023 is Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2. With a dominating 39% of the vote in what is arguably the most competitive category every year. So that is a pretty strong number. Followed up very weakly by My Hero Academia with only 12.8%. Just a domination, to put it lightly, I would say. So we definitely unleashed our spirits or whatever and just crushed this poll. So there's the result on Twitch, a gap of 27%, literally tripling second place. So, thoughts?
I
think if there was one category that Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2 was a lock for, it was this one.
Yeah.
I mean, I could argue that Oshinoko's OP was, of the entire competition, the most I was sure of. But as far as, if Jujutsu Kaisen's going to win anything, it's this. Not surprising. And I think we talked about it in our pre-show, but Bungo Season 5, Bleach Part 2 to a follow-up years in the past. Like, a lot of these have more of a cost of entry. It takes more time to get to it. I'm actually surprised My Hero Academia did so well. I know it's still popular, and Season 6 kind of was a renaissance for it, but for people to stick through 5 seasons of it and still be like, yeah, the show is still good. Impressed by that, actually. So
yeah, I'm kind of happy about that. Yeah, I definitely agree. There was no way Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2 was not going to win this category. And I think it's really funny because it did win. Like 39% of everybody that listened to this podcast and voted chose Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2. And yet in the Twitch chat, it's just, I don't see one person saying, no, yeah, Jujutsu Kaisen won. Woo! It's like, where's the fan? Where's the 39% of you?
They've sat through 17 award shows this month where they've seen Jujutsu Kaisen win. It's not a surprise. They're like, yeah, put it on my tab, chalk it up. So, no, good. Good for My Hero Academia. Glad to see it coming back into, I think, what we all hoped it could have been after the first couple seasons came out so strong. And, nothing didn't get votes. Every show here got some love. It was just overshadowed.
Bungo Stray Dogs, yeah, kind of maybe got 4%.
Hey, we'll take them. We'll take them. I liked it.
I voted for Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2. I thought it was, well, probably the best in the category. I don't know, but I had also only seen half of these, so that's maybe I should have abstained. I don't know. Who cares? All right.
Always the challenge is whether or not to abstain.
You can't watch everything, and I certainly haven't watched all of Bungo Stray Dogs. For God's sake, they're probably
I've never seen it.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
You're probably 100 episodes behind, so you got a lot of catching up to do.
I'm already trying to catch up on Haikyuu.
I'm trying to catch up on One Piece. I'm in the 400s now on One Piece.
Sure.
That's why he's got his captain's hat on.
Speaking of that, let's go into best comedy because that was hilarious, Mitz. Okay, our nominees for best comedy are The 100 Girlfriends Who Really, 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 Really Love You, Buddy Daddies, The Eminence in Shadow Season 2, Mashal, Onimai, I'm Not Your Sister, Spy X Family Season 2, Tomo-chan is a Girl, and that's it. I was going to say, and abstain. I wasn't counting. Anyway, so the winner of Best Comedy is The 100 Girlfriends Who Really, 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 Really Love You at 20% of the vote.
Or The 6 Girlfriends.
I actually think this category is very interesting because it was the runners-up lost by a hair. See, in second place was Spy X Family Season 2 with 19% of the vote, and in third place was The Eminence in Shadow Season 2 with 18% of the vote. Everything was like within 1% of each other, so we
Yeah, if
have
you're
some
looking at the
pretty
pie chart
fair.
on Twitch, this is like
Yeah.
the most evenly cut slices of all the categories. So
Mhm.
if someone is listening and be like, I didn't get around to voting. I kind of fell out of the podcast for a couple of weeks. Like, this was the category where everything was neck and neck all the way to the end. So if you're disappointed on the results and you did not vote, this is entirely your fault. That said, I'm happy with this.
Me
I
too.
I liked Onimai quite a bit. I liked Buddy Daddies quite a bit. Probably more than 100 Girlfriends, but as a comedy, I thought this was really well done. I was kind of endeared to it despite its silly, absurd nature. It really leaned into it, and we just did a review on it, so I feel like I'm repeating myself already, but yeah, good job.
Buddy Daddies got sixth in this poll, and I'm like, come on. I mean, it got beaten by Mashal, which to me was barely even a comedy. So that was very
Well, what
disappointing.
was it other than a comedy?
I'd
It
say
certainly
it
wasn't a
was
drama
no,
or
I'd say
a
it was
sports
action.
anime.
It was a shonen show to me, but I mean, it was like I don't know, some kind of a weird One Punch Man Harry Potter hybrid. I don't know what the fuck it was, but I didn't think it was at Buddy Daddy's sort of level of entertainment. But again, what do I know? I'm just a man and with a hat on.
It's always tricky because we don't know if people are voting what of these shows was the best and which of these shows was the best comedy.
Hmm.
So there's different angles to it. So yeah, I would probably argue Buddy Daddies was the best show of the list, but if I'm voting for best comedy, I might have been swayed one way or another. So
Yeah, I feel like especially with something like it might be one thing with like best drama, which is so I feel like a little bit more vague. But with best comedy, you hear that word comedy and you're like, oh, okay, which of these shows did I laugh the most at? And yeah, it was very even across the board within our three top places. But I am pretty excited that 100 Girlfriends squeaked past the juggernaut of Spy X Family. Especially with, I
love
don't
to
even
see
think
it.
I've
It's
heard
because
that
there's
many
so much
people talk about
your. It wasn't
100%.
as funny anymore.
Yeah, they're like, oh my God, best girl, not as funny.
The price of victory. It's
Yeah.
bittersweet.
So that was an interesting category.
Yeah. Next up is best drama slash slice of life. Quite a interesting, also highly contested category along with action adventure. Your nominees are Bang Dream, It's My Go, Oshinoko, Pluto, Skippin' Loafer, Vinland Saga Season 2, and Yuzuki Family's Four Sons. And your winner for the best drama slice of life of 2023 is Vinland Saga Season 2.
Based.
Base indeed. A moderate victory and a pretty close call between 2 and 3. Vinland Saga had 32% of the vote, Oshinoko had 20%, and Skippin' Loafer, my beloved dark horse, at the top of the show with 19%. So, you know what? I'm pretty happy with that showing, especially with it being more on the slice of life side and not the Oscar baity drama side that was Vinland Saga and Oshinoko. So, not surprised. Pretty happy. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I'm happy with this too. Definitely think Vinland Saga was the most dramatic out of all these shows. So obviously I agree with that. Skip and Lover, I mean, it pained me not to vote for it, but how could I not vote for Vinland Saga in this category? What do you think, Mitz?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little surprised by some of the ones that were down the list. Particularly Pluto didn't really seem to get much love, really at all, anywhere so far. It's a little surprising because I thought that show was extremely strong and probably deserved to be, near the top of the list for the year. But I don't know. I can't tell if that's because it was a little too long and cerebral or if it was because it was on Netflix. I just don't know, but I'm not so surprised that Vinland Saga won. I just thought that, something like Pluto will get a little higher. And Oshinoko, I don't know. Is that even it's barely even like a drama. It's certainly not a slice of life.
It's pretty drama-y.
Yeah. I mean,
It's
that
like
first
an idol
episode
show,
was
I don't
pretty
know.
dramatic.
This is like almost an idol category. At some point here, it's like a 2 idol show.
I don't
What the hell
think
is
so.
Yazuki Family's 4 Sons? I don't know what the fuck that is.
Yeah, I saw it when I was making my impressions list when that season came out, and I nearly put it on my list, and I did hear some good things about it. So it's not completely out of left field here. But considering Oshinoko was nominated and was one of the biggest animes last year, it definitely could have done worse or done better in this category than it did. So I wouldn't get so upset over Oshinoko being second place.
I'm not upset about anything. I'm happy as a clam.
This has never been upset a day in his life.
I
baby.
voted for Vinland Saga, and it won easily, so that's all I care about.
Mitch is like, we stay winning.
Yeah, winning. Tiger blood.
There you
Good.
go.
Oh, yeah, next up, speaking of winning, Isekai, because that's pretty much all we watch now. Just kidding. All right, Isekai has a genre that's always been around, but is probably the most parabolic in terms of its recent popularity. It has become synonymous with anime itself. And so the next category is Best Isekai Fantasy. We got a lot of good stuff in here. The nominees for Best Fantasy or Isekai Anime are Ancient Magus Bride Season 2, The Eminence and Shadows Season 2, Heavenly Delusion, Hell's Paradise, Jobless Reincarnation Season 2, and Undead Girl Murder Farce. A lot of Season 2s in here. And the winner is Jobless Reincarnation Season 2. With 33% of the vote. Second place was Heavenly Delusion with 26%. And I, because I'm out of my freaking mind, am a person who probably checked the poll results at least twice a day the entire time people voted. And I can tell you that it wasn't until about 80% of the way through the poll that Heavenly Delusion lost first place. It was in first place for most of the poll. My suspicion is that the Discord, for example, votes very differently than social media, at large, but it is an aggregate. So there you go. And I saw it, and Jobless Reincarnation Season 2 was extremely strong and probably was deserving of being near the top, if not the winner. So what do you guys think?
I haven't seen season 2 of Jobless Reincarnation, but I'll trust whatever you think about that. I do believe you said that you liked it, so not bad at all. Heavenly Delusion, I think I didn't vote for it. I honestly don't. I kind of feel lukewarm about Heavenly Delusion, especially compared to a lot of the other fans of it. But I kind of wish it got first because that's the only one of only a few actual fantasies on this list. So that was pretty interesting. And well, I did vote for Eminence and Shadows Season 2 because I couldn't help myself.
Yeah,
Mason?
this group was a pretty even mix between fantasy shows like Hell's Paradise, Heavenly Delusion, and Undead Girl Murder Farce, and isekai shows, which were all sequels with Ancient Magus. Well, I guess Ancient Magus is fantasy. Never mind. It was just Eminence and Jobless, which is actually less isekai than I expected.
Oh,
I don't know what
I
I'm
didn't even
talking
take a look at the
about.
list, I guess.
That said, yeah, I wish Heavenly would have won. It definitely is not for everyone. It's very divisive, but you could argue the same is for Jobless. I watched 2 episodes of season 2 of Jobless Reincarnation, and I thought the production had dropped off so hard. It looked so much worse. It moved terribly. I gave up on it. And that's coming from someone who, that was part of what drew me to the series, was how good episode 1 was composited and produced and everything. So I can't speak to it, so I can't be upset, but man, I'm just glad Heavenly put up a good fight. So, end of the day, we're not salty.
I
We're
actually,
sad, but we're not salty.
I actually think you would have liked the new season of Jobless better, Mason. It definitely pivoted more into Rudius trying to solve past traumas and his faults as a character, and a lot less of just being perverted and stupid and firing magic at crap. And it went places that you don't really see anime go really ever. I've never seen a character in anime ever try to solve erectile dysfunction, which was wild and like handled really well. So I don't know. It was just bizarre to like the places it went, but it was just a totally different show. I'm sure people that stuck with it were kind of surprised at the direction it took. So
Yeah, exactly. I can't talk to it to see where it went, and I think the biggest thing also was just because it's doing another split core where there's going to be a Jobless Reincarnation season 2 part 2. I just felt like we're past the review stage of this show. We've done it twice already. I'm just going to wait till more of it comes out or is done, and I can just watch it as a collective unit instead of a little bit here and there. Because I think the story works better when you can follow it all the way through because there's
yeah,
so many characters and so many chess pieces being moved around that if I watch a bit and have to go 6 months or 9 months before watching the next section, I'll miss out on some of the intricacies. So it's just on hold. It's not a hard drop. It's not a Jobless Reincarnation is dead to me. It's just
yeah,
I'm gonna wait until it's done. So we'll see. We
it's
might
all
get to
good.
it one day. But yeah, fine with these results.
Caroline is going to round out the genre categories now in her Chanel dress and on stage, glittering the
It's
lights,
Amazon.
almost as if the lights themselves were placed just for her. Caroline, please announce the
Indeed,
next
indeed.
category.
Next category is most surprisingly good. I'm still not sure if that's grammatically correct, but that's how
Probably
we
not.
do it. And the nominees are Bang Dream, It's My Go, Buddy Daddies, The Dangers in My Heart, My Love Story with Yamada-kun at level 999, Undead Girl Murder Farce, and Yuzuki Family's Four Sons. And the winner is The Dangers in My Heart with 22%.
I'm okay with this. This was another one where Buddy Daddies was ahead for most of the poll, and then at probably in the last day or two, "Dangers in My Heart" just came on
Wow.
strong and just took over. So, but I'm
Got
fine with that.
dangerous there.
It was pretty good. So
Yes, but Buddy Daddies did get second place with 19%. And in third place was Undead Girl Murder Farce with 13%. I did vote for Dangers because it's the thing is about this show is that it is your everyday slice of life comedy romance, but there's just something about it. It has the secret sauce that just makes everyone, well, not everyone, because, Mitz doesn't really love these kind of things, but it makes a
I
lot of
thought
people
I
say,
liked it.
oh, yeah, actually,
Yamada's cute.
I'm right. I was right. It has a secret sauce that just makes everyone love it.
For some reason, I don't like the boy. I like Yamada a lot, but maybe he'll grow on me in season 2. We'll see.
He's going through puberty, Mitz. He's growing as a person. Oh, I killed you.
Yeah, I'm killing myself. Trust me. Mason,
What are your other thoughts here?
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy with this. I think the biggest thing is to me surprisingly good is a show that you look at the promotional art, you look at the description, and you are thinking it won't be good, which is exactly what I was thinking with Buddy Daddies and Undead Girl Murder Farce. So I'm like, what's going on here? They look like a mess, or Buddy Daddies is just trying to cop the Spy Family aesthetics. Like, what are we doing here? Why this Undead Girl is just too much going on. It looks kind of bland, and they turn out to be really decently entertaining shows. Whereas Dangers just looked like another rom com, and so I didn't specifically think it would be bad. It just looked like another dime a dozen show. But once again, still surprisingly had a lot more going on. So as expected, I'm fine with these results. I'm glad Buddy Daddies put up a good fight. I'm glad Undead Girl Murder Farce got on the podium. I'm glad the Dangers, especially with how good season 2 has seemed to be in the discourse I've heard, have not watched it yet, might, you know, get the resolution or next up to a romance that I think season 1 was missing. So no complaints.
I agree. Mitz, anything else you want to speak on this?
not really. I think the results were pretty correct, actually.
They
Nice.
speak for themselves. So let's speak about next thing some more, which is best film. So here's the time to talk about movies that came out last year. Obviously tricky because not all of them ever come out in digital streaming,
Yeah.
or some of them are more exclusive than others. That said, it just gives me a chance to look at films, and I like when people watch them. So, your nominees for the best movie of 2023 are Black Clover, Sword of the Wizard King, Blue Giant, The Boy and the Heron, The First Slam Dunk, and Suzume. And your winner for the best film of 2023 is Suzume.
Well, really, the winner was abstain, but
Yeah.
Which is fine. I'm
yeah.
sure most people haven't seen most of these films.
Hmm.
Suzume has been out for a while. Obviously, Shinkai carries a lot of weight to his name, a lot of pretty, a lot of accessibility. A lot of people had a chance to watch this. The Boy and the Heron, obviously, having Miyazaki is also an even bigger name, some might argue, but more recent and just maybe not as what people were expecting from a Miyazaki film. I feel validated and vindicated that the name How Do You Live still is better than The Boy and the Heron and would work so well with the movie. That said, not surprised. Upset that my boy Blue Giant didn't do so well, but once again, no one saw that. It's CG. It's about jazz. Who cares? Me and maybe 7 other people, and that's it. So, no surprise. What do you guys think?
Well, I abstained from this category because the only movies on this list that I've seen was Suzume and The Boy and the Heron, and I didn't think that was enough to give a qualified vote for myself. But that being said, I am glad that Suzume won because that's what I would have voted for.
I
And
yeah.
it was a good. I enjoyed the movie. There are probably better movies and better years, and I don't know. Maybe it's one of the movies I haven't seen on this list. Maybe it is. I would expect to be better than Suzume, but I just love this Shinkai aesthetic and the music, and I thought the characters were pretty decent in Suzume. It did get a little lofty, but not nearly as lofty as The Boy and the Heron. But
And if you think about it, there was a lot of music from Miyazaki films in Suzume. So,
really,
yeah. Like they sang the song from when she's riding on her broom in Kiki's Delivery Service at the beginning, that was in it. There's a couple songs
I didn't know.
from Ghibli films in Suzume when they're on their road trip that they play in the car.
Wow, I had
So,
no idea.
Ghibli still wins, baby. Yeah.
I abstained. I have only seen The Boy and the Heron. I actually didn't think it was that good. Surprisingly, I don't know if it's the worst Miyazaki movie, but it was arguably the least coherent, and that's a problem for most people. So I did abstain, but I guess to me the reason why The Boy and the Heron probably got beaten so badly to Suzume was, unless I'm mistaken, Suzume is on Netflix and The Boy and the Heron is nowhere. So
Is it on Netflix?
yeah, we almost watched it when you were when you were
Oh.
visiting. So it's on something. Yeah, it's probably Netflix because we mostly use Netflix. It might have been Crunchyroll. I can't remember, but I still want to watch the Slam Dunk movie. It came in last. I mean, it's ridiculously highly revered on the internet, so I assume it's probably one of the best movies on this list, but probably nobody watched it. I couldn't even catch it. It was in
It
theaters.
was in theaters for like 2 days.
Yeah,
And
2
then
days.
hasn't come out. So
Yeah.
it's unfortunate. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's supposed to be amazing, but I haven't seen that, and that's kind of how it is, I mean, these movies, they're elusive. You kind of have to go out of your way and maybe spend a little extra money to watch them, make an event of it. You got to go to a theater. They usually charge premium pricing. You have to happen to be available on that exact day. You have to be able to get tickets. It's not easy. So I do get it, and not everybody wants to go scour the internet for like BitTorrents or whatever people use today. So totally get it. But I'm sure Suzume was fine. I haven't watched it yet, but I probably will.
Nice.
Okay. We are out of the genre categories into Best Studio. So, Best Studio, there are more studios now in anime than ever, to be honest. But I think that the studios that were good before are still the same. They're the most prolific, to be honest, and it's a lot of names you're going to recognize. So, while there are probably 100 anime studios now or more, I don't even know how many, it's a ridiculous amount. Here are the best nominees for Best Studio 2023. Studio Bind, Studio Madhouse, Studio Mappa, which are, I guess, kind of the same thing because Mappa was founded by the people that left Madhouse, I think. PA Works, Studio Piero, and Studio Wit. And your winner for, I think, the third year in a row is Studio Mappa with an astounding 44.6% of the vote. So that's pretty wild. And second place was Madhouse, which is, again, kind of the same thing in my mind, with only 12.3%. So that's a pretty wild number. And then everybody else was like so small they're not even on the pie chart, really. I mean, Mappa's just, I don't know, crushing everything. I don't know.
Yeah, and like they make good shows.
They do.
But with everything that's come out about Mappa in the last
They're
year
crushing
or so,
everything. Their shows, their employers.
Souls!
Their employees. Yes,
Employees.
Yes, please.
Fuck your free time.
Very much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Hell's Paradise, Attack on Titan finally concluding, Mabaroshi, Attack on Titan also concluding, because there's 2 parts to it, Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2, Vinland Saga. There's just a lot good stuff. And Campfire Cooking in Another World, which I didn't watch, but, wasn't the worst show ever. So, yeah, I mean, they get good properties, and they put it out, and people watch it and like it. So, you wish there was better business practices and a whole cavalcade of issues that goes with it. But at the end of the day, they're putting out entertaining products, and that's sad, but it's good. So it's hard to talk about it, but complex. But good job for Mappa. I think it's like Mitt said, either the second or third time in a row it's won. I think the last winner that wasn't Mappa was Studio Bones, but that was a while ago. So
I could check on that.
Someone, please, next year, rise up. Gamers, rise up and put something else out.
Someone's gonna have to put their big Dragon Balls on the table and make a statement.
Let's hope. Anything else on Studio?
No, but I'm gonna look it up and see how many years in a row this is for Mappa. I know I have the old data somewhere here. I'm gonna find it. All right, Caroline.
Next up, we got the Pooper Scooper Award.
It's my favorite.
Worst of 2023.
Mako?
Now, with this category, it's tough because by voting for something in the Pooper Scooper Award, it's most likely because you've seen it. Meanwhile, there are many things on this list that you have not seen because it was bad. And yet, if you don't know if something was bad, you're not going to vote for it. So it's kind of like the most popular of the worst things on this list. That is how this award is given out. And the nominees are Fooly Cooly Grunge, A Girl and Her Guard Dog, Kizuna no Allele, The Legend of Heroes, The Marginal Service, Protocol Rain, and Reborn as a Vending Machine. And the winner of the Pooper Scooper Award is Reborn as a Vending Machine with 27% of the vote.
Yeah.
Now this was my nomination, was Reborn. Mostly because it was just the worst show that I reviewed last year, in my opinion. And again, I feel like there are several shows on this list that if I had seen, I would have been like, oh, Vending Machine has nothing on this one. But yeah, it did surpass Fooly Cooly Grunge with 15% and A Girl and Her Guard Dog with 13%. What are your thoughts, guys?
I haven't seen like any of these.
These are
of course.
all
that's the
so
issue.
Bad in distinct ways that it's impressive. Like, do you pick Reborn as a Vending Machine, a show that I gave a absurdly low score to because it's just boring? It takes all the parody of Mashal or 100 Girlfriends Who Really Like You and strip out all the comedy to the point where it's just awkwardly boring. Do you watch Fooly Cooly Grunge, which is a travesty in a reimagining sequel sort of thing to a beloved franchise that absolutely misses the point at every single shot? Or do you go for A Girl and Her Guard Dog, which is just unbelievably uncomfortable age gap romance, grooming, incestual kind of thing that just makes you feel gross as these characters look like dead fish right into your soul through the screen. It's like all of them are failures on so many levels that collectively they could all have won on any other year. So I'm equally sad with all these results, and we're that's it. That's all there is to say. It's bad. All these shows are bad. Thank you for those who voted
By the way,
and watched any of these.
Yeah, thank you for your sacrifice.
Mappa has won 4 years in a row, and the year
Okay.
in 2019 UFO Table won
Ah,
for I
probably
can't.
for Demon Slayer.
Yeah, probably yeah. Okay. Oh my gosh, are we at the end?
We are.
Oh my god, I can barely contain the excitement because I haven't looked at who won. I really don't know. I'm lying. I know who won. but none of you know yet, so neener.
Well, thanks for listening to episode.
Yep, that's right. That's the end.
You'll never know.
Mason gave this one to me on the document, even though I think it's his turn. Go ahead, Mason.
No. This is your show.
Oh my god.
First one in, last one out. You got this.
All right, fine. Since you're so insistent and handsome. All right. So, best of 2023. Here is your reads as the hottest anime of last year list if you're listening on Twitch. We had a lot of good shows last year. Personally, I think there were about 5 anime that kind of dominated everything and for sure won probably 80% of all the votes across all the polls today. And most of them are in this list. So, the best anime of 2023, the nominees are Buddy Daddies, Bleach, Second 1,000 Year Blood War Part 2, Heavenly Delusion, Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2, Onimai, I'm Now Your Sister, Oshinoko, and Vinland Saga Season 2. And the winner of Best Anime of 2023 is Vinland Saga Season 2. I will say that I watched this poll like a hawk the entire time, and almost the entirety of the poll, Heavenly Delusion was winning the poll. Probably 90% of the days, and then, I don't know. And then at the end, it just fell apart and got passed up by both Jujutsu Kaisen and Vinland Saga. Vinland Saga had 26%. Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2 had 22%, so a fairly close poll. And third place was Heavenly Delusion with 21%. So very, very narrow, but in the end, Vinland Saga just has too strong of a narrative, I guess. So that's the most important thing in an anime, and Vinland Saga just, I don't know, it just read like a novel that someone spent their whole life writing. So that's how I feel about it. What do you guys think?
I definitely think Vinland Saga was the standout of last season. I mean, Jujutsu Kaisen's animation blew my mind, but the turn that Vinland Saga took and how well it took that turn and how it expanded on all the emotions that were brought in by season 1, and it just, even though it was so much calmer than it was before, stuck on a farm called Farmland Saga the entire time, it became more of an endearing farmland saga. That term being used, I felt it took a turn, and yeah, it was definitely deserving of this award. And Jujutsu Kaisen obviously was going to place here, but I am surprised that the 4% gap, and considering that Heavenly Delusion was so close behind.
I love these results. I'm so glad my boy Heavenly Delusion put up a good fight, made the podium against two arguably juggernauts of probably some of the best shonen seinen content we've seen in the past couple of years. So to be in the same company, I think says a lot to how good of a job Heavenly did. I'm glad Vinland Saga, shed the farmland arc, farming arc. Oh, dude, it's so slow, it's so boring. Sure, but it could not be stopped. It just ascended beyond the others, and we didn't get another Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2 win, which I'm happy with, only because it was winning everything else. I think it equally could have earned this and deserved it, but to have this gumption to stick with Vinland Saga's, like, we're going to go slow. It's going to pace itself out, and it's not going to deliver hype every single episode. I think people still resonated with good narrative storytelling principles and just really great characters, really great music, and just a story that you want to keep on watching, even if it's not, guns blazing all the time. And it just struck a balance and was emotionally hard hitting and deserved it to the end. And so I'm very happy with how this played out.
Yeah, Vinland Saga Season 2 was definitely tear evoking, I would say. There were many opportunities in that season to just shed tears for sure as a viewer. From just watching someone just grapple with so much trauma to overcoming that trauma to just having people die in the most cruel and just unfair ways, and then just watching other characters just absolutely unravel because of that is just so hard to watch. But that's exactly what that show's going for. It's not really supposed to be happy. It's supposed to be about a horrible world full of death and war and trying to find your happiness in it and overcoming your past. And so, yeah, and it's, to me, anything that can just make you break down and just have some tears is landing very hard in your heart. And that's hard to do. That's a lot harder to do than just have shit like explode. So that's how I view things. And that's the bottom line for me. Any other comments from you guys?
It's very rare that you see a show that can actually do an emotional cliffhanger, and yet Vinland did it several times. So yeah, definitely stand out. And as a drama, I don't think I've ever seen another show stand out as much as Vinland Saga did, and as a drama category anime. So yeah, definitely deserving of this win. And I'm very happy with the overall results of our awards show, guys. This one was a good one.
All right. Well, thanks for everybody who watched on Twitch. It was a larger than usual audience, so I appreciate you all being here. And I hope that you're satisfied with the results of the poll. I think it was a very diverse award show. I think something like 8 or 9 different anime won something. I think in the end, Jujutsu Kaisen and Vinland Saga both had 3 awards, so those were the top.
I knew it. I called it.
You're so good.
I am.
You're so good. We're actually gonna. I think we should call it here. We have some other things we need to do. So I'm gonna play us out. We're gonna do a more of an emotional sort of tribute to Akira Toriyama coming up next. If you want to participate in that, you can join us on the Discord in the live channel or in the free channel, I guess, for conversation. I hope you were all satisfied. We may be talking more about this for an undisclosed length of time if we have time to do an after party. And I hope you all enjoyed. I hope this next year is as good as the last year. And we hope you'll be there with us all every step of the way. So, anything else, guys?
Nothing. We said it all.
Next episode review of Migi and Dolly. If you want to watch along, we'll do it there. But no, it's been a good Oscars. It's been a good year. We'll see you guys in 2024. And
again, don't forget, I'm going to be in Japan, and Mason's traveling as well. So we didn't die or fall off or quit podcasting. We are dealing with other things in life, and so there will be a delay next week on the podcast release. So with that in mind,
see if I'm actually doing anything by myself. We'll see. It doesn't even really matter considering it'll be delayed anyway coming out. So
we'll put it on Twitch. It'll be on YouTube. You can find it.
I don't know how to do Twitch.
That's so difficult. So difficult. All right. We'll see you guys next time.
For someone who's never done it.
Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.